Good morning, John. How are you?
We're good, thank you. Another sunny day in Nottingham.
It is. It's sunny, it's December, and it's nearly Christmas. Are you prepared?
We're always prepared at Warlord. We're born ready.
Born ready. I love it. I love it. And for yourself, have you got any plans for Christmas?
Yeah, just been buying stuff like everybody else, mainly online. It's not much fun going out into the cold, into the shops these days, so doing it all online like everybody else.
Oh, wonderful. And any hobby for you this Christmas?
Oh, always a hobby, painting yet more men in tricorns. I've just started on the dastardly French, so I've got a French brigade. They're quite easy to paint because they're all in white, so it will give some allies for the hard-pressed Americans.
Oh, excellent. That's really good news to hear. So we went to your house, I think it was about 4 weeks ago now, thereabouts. And for the first time for myself, I saw your enormous gaming table. I was in awe of it. How long did that take to put together and the collection?
Oh, well, when I moved into my house, I was fortunate in having a friend called Lizzie. She got in carpenters and joiners and she just made my house beautiful. And she put up the gun racks in there for taking, 24 rifles for a start, all hugely practical. She had all those cabinets built, for the glass cabinets for the model soldiers. They're all built to her specifications, all on wheels, so if I did move, I could move to another place. And the gaming table, which is just that little bit bigger than Rick's, that's also on wheels, so I don't know if I'll be able to actually get it out of the room now. It is so big. Did I say it was bigger than Rick's? I think I did.
I think you may have mentioned something.
I did. And so, yeah, it was all designed for me by this lovely lady called Liz Adcock. And what a good job she did. I've always been interested in the Jacobite Revolution, where there was the 1715 and famously the 45, where Bonnie Prince Charlie and his lads came over the border to try and re-establish the Stuart claim to the throne. And they did pretty well. I mean, they got all the way to Derby and then thought, well, England's not very nice, really. Let's go back up to Scotland. So they turned and went all the way back up to Scotland, and they were hunted down by the government forces and fought at bay at the Culloden Moor, famously. And unfortunately, the prince's forces got smashed by the Duke of Cumberland in a rather unpleasant manner. But it's an interesting battle because you got most of the people wearing tricorns and the bulk of the Scottish forces, the Royalist forces, in plaid and carrying sword and targe. So it's an interesting period to have a go at. All very colourful as well. I mean, there are an awful lot of Scots in the government army. It wasn't English against Scots. Let's not pretend it was. But anyway, interesting period. So I suddenly thought, how can I expand my tricorn army? I thought, I'll have a look at the warlord's pike and shot soldiers. And in there's the Duke of Montrose, Earl of Montrose. He had his army, the core of his army in 1642 was Highlanders, and they look almost no different to what they looked like 100 years later. So that's what inspired me to do that.
Oh, excellent. And we saw a nice little email from you saying that you used to actually live in Scotland for a little while.
Well, I did. Me and my brother moved to Scotland when we were 5 and 6, and we were introduced to the Jacobite wars by 3 or 4 of the local lads using large cricket stumps as broadswords to come chasing after us. And so we ended up in a tree to keep safe from the local lads. Well, I wouldn't have minded because we weren't even English, we were Welsh. So, but they assumed we were English. So Sassenachs, so get them.
Well, I suppose anything south of the border, and then
That's
yes,
the way
they have their claim.
They do. So I learned very quickly about the Highland charge and how to avoid it.
Indeed.
Climb a tree. So what's this Culloden project then, John? Well, I've always been interested in the 45 rebellion, and I came across these boys, who are the Highlanders from the Montrose English Civil War armies. And they're strips of metal. There's 6 different ones, I think. So these are all metal models in strips. And I thought I'd paint them up to see if they could represent Charlie's 45 Highlanders. And I think they'd painted up really nicely. If you've given them all a flag, if you see here, all the way through to the back, it's a big mob of hairy Highlanders. and but with the different strips, here's another strip of them, and so I put 3 strips to a regiment. That guy's carrying a longbow. That's probably out of touch for 1745, but there we go. I think we can get away with it. Some wild guys, swinging muskets, and obviously the sword and targe is what you want. We also do this splendid set of banners and standards that we can add. Conjectural, a couple of them, but you get the idea, and I'll show you now what a whole regiment looks like. Right, well, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, and if I want to make my Culloden range models proper, somebody has to suffer. So these poor guys. I've already had two heads here, so here we go. Off with his head. It's going to ping off somewhere. They always do. Oh, here we go. And there it was, gone. So I've been taking lots of heads off, all sorts of things, artillery crew, infantry, all manner of people to build into other units. You'll notice these poor French chasseurs à cheval of the guard, done in resin. They've just been decapitated as well. Not by me, but by cannonballs. No, actually, I've stolen their heads. Okay, and where did those chasseurs à cheval heads end up? They ended being grafted onto the British Light Dragoons set from Rebellion. So take off the tricorns and put on the busbies, and then we add here, just using paper, there was a sort of a material bag on the side of their heads to make them the first hussars that were in Britain. These are Baggett's hussars, who Bonnie Prince Charlie had a unit of 30 or 40 of them at Culloden, so I had to make them. Used one of the Scots Lancers here to put a Scottish guidon there. And they're all in a sort of a plaid as well. I did my best to do a plaid in 15mm. It's not easy. But you can't have Culloden without these boys. So there they are. The thing about the Epic system is, because the models are 15mm tall and in strips, the thing about them is they're incredibly flexible. For about 100 years or thereabouts, everybody was wearing tricorns. Anyone and everyone was wearing them. It was just the fashion, the craze, just everybody wore them. And the uniform coat colours and the cut of the cloth is very similar no matter which army you go to. And so it's great fun. So you can be quite bold in painting them as different as Swedes or Danes or French or Frederick the Great's army. You can get out of it all manner of different periods, different countries you could get. Don't be obsessed with the turnbacks and the lapels. You know, it really doesn't show in that scale. Just be bold and have fun. The models are so easy just to pop the heads off, just snip them off with some snippers or a sharp knife and replace them with a different sort of a busby hat or a mitre hat or a grenadier's cap, and convert and have fun. At Culloden, the government forces, had 3 regiments of dragoons, 2 of them in red coats and 1 of them in blue. And so where did I get these guys from? Well, more mass decapitations, I'm afraid. Using the British Light Dragoon, I just took some bicorns from various infantrymen and stuck them on these, turning them into medium dragoons. And the other trick I did was, I've got such a large army of British now, I've got some extra staff officers. So I've actually just took the epaulets off the officers and painted them as dragoon troopers. So it's given me my 3 regiments of government dragoons. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Again, Bonnie Prince Charlie had a small bodyguard with him of cavalry, units of 20 and 40 really, very small. But again, using the light dragoons that you get in the sets, just by placing bicorns on them, you take them from 1776 and you put them into 1745. And again, my friend Pete Brown, who's an expert on the Culloden campaign, told me that Charlie again had a unit of lifeguard cavalry, but took their horses from them to give them to other units. I don't know why. So they fought dismounted. So I thought, well, how are they going to look? Well, then suddenly thought, well, let's use the Hessians that are in the set, because they've got rifles which will look very good as short carbines. And instead of painting them green, just painted them red, so they look like dismounted cavalrymen. So these are on Charlie's side again. A bit confusing, redcoats fighting against redcoats, but battles are confusing. One of the things the British Army needs in 1745 is a grenadier company. By the War of Independence, the grenadiers were taken from each regiment and put into composite battalions to give a sort of a shock action, if you like. But in 1745, the British Army put its best troops on the right of the line in a grenadier company. And at Culloden even split their grenadier companies to keep them on either flank because they were very fearful of the fearsome Highland charge. Now, we don't actually do British grenadiers in the early headgear. So what I did was got the Hessian grenadiers, because they have a similar, what would you call it, mitre cap. So it's a soft cap here. So what I do is just do a strip of 8 of them and put them on the right of the line of a British regiment to make it give a very good impression of government forces on the morning of Culloden. Poor old Charlie's men, I mean, the Scots were pretty good with artillery over the years, but at Culloden artillery was very wanting. I cobbled together this gun really from the English Civil War range. It looks a bit spindly and not terribly good, but by the addition of a couple of the bicorns and the Scots cap, it gives a good impression of what Scottish artillery might have looked like on the day. And on the moor, we've got some sort of heather here on the basing. I like to place these tufts. It really does lift the models. So I got 3 artillery batteries for the Jacobite forces. They were unfortunately outshot on the day by the government artillery, who not only used light guns but were also using mortars, which they've recently unearthed, which is quite frightening for the government, for the Scottish forces. Who are these fellows then? Well, with the Scottish forces, it wasn't just Highlanders. There are a lot of Lowlanders as well who were wearing what we call basic British dress or British English dress at the time. But also the French sent over a contingent. These are the French Scots, the Écossais, and they're a regular regiment sent over from the French army to give a bit of backbone to Charlie's forces. And they're really just British painted blue. Though the flags, I've actually used the correct flags. They were 2 colours they carry with a bit of greenery on them. And last but not least, it's the great man himself, old Bonnie Prince Charlie. Great hero to many, poltroon to others. On his horse, it's one of the, from our English Civil War range, it's Leslie, I think, the Covenant General. But you can see he's got the Royal Standard there. Again, I've used one of the standards from the sheet I just showed you before, being proudly displayed on Culloden Moor. So have fun with your commanders, have fun with flags, and have fun with your basing.
Key topic for the hobby is to have fun, and then if there's something that you want to do, just go for it. Like if we're going to be chopping heads off miniatures and create your own existing, a unique force, then why not?
Well, it should be it's your hobby, and if you're happy with it, then that's all there is to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's a lot that you can have: the collecting side of things, the gaming side of things, painting. That there's quite a vast array that you can do in the hobby from just such a few kits.
That's why it's a. So again, it's a broad church, and there's all the different. Some people love playing the game. Some people just enjoy painting the miniatures. Some people enjoy the research. And some people like building fantastic battlefields.
Well, actually, here's a good follow-on question: is when you're starting to do a project, do you do a lot of research before you start, or do you have an idea of what you would like to do, and then as you're creating units, then you research a bit more and think, oh, I might actually add this unit here, or maybe this bit of terrain?
I normally have a good idea about what it is I'm trying to do. It's just been built up over 63 years of knowledge, so I kind of know the basics of all of it, so I can start priming and preparing and start getting base colours on. I know exactly what all the coat colours are going to be. Then I might consult some books to get the facing colours correct, and obviously flags, which is a nightmare, knowing which flags to put where and in which sequence. If you're doing the British, you always have to have the Union flag on the right of the line, never on the left, unless it's the Guards, which reverses it. There you go.
Yes, we learnt that, I think, from the previous video,
which
is always
but
brilliant.
Never forget
so
it.
Every day is a learning day. Is there any specific unit that you prefer, or anything that kind of stands out that you've really enjoyed doing?
Oh, definitely. Well, all of the conversions were great fun because they're so simple but satisfying to do. Start with the British. It's the British in 1745. Their Grenadier Company was on the right of the line, and they wore a different uniform to the rest of the tricorn lads. And I've shown how to use the Hessian Grenadiers with their tall mitre caps. And if you paint the Hessian Grenadiers, take probably 4 or 6 of them, and paint them red coats with the proper facings on the mitres, and then add them to a normal tricorn regiment on your right hand flank, and that makes the British Army of 1745. It makes them look period. Sometimes they even had grenadiers on both sides. I think Barrel's regiment did, weirdly. So that was the conversion for the British that you can do. And for the Highland Army, the favourite is Bagot's Hussars, who was a tiny unit of probably just 30 men. And they wore sort of a hussar type uniform, a hussar bearskin. It's described as I don't think I've seen them drawn, but they're described as a bearskin with a bag on it. So you can try and take them either. We show you how to do that in the article, which takes some either Nassau heads or French Imperial Guard cavalry ones and pop those on. So those are good fun, and making some gunners as well, adding some tricorns to English Civil War cannon. That gives them the feel of ancient-looking cannon. So any of those.
No, fantastic. And then historically as well, if I'm right in saying this, isn't this like the last pitched battle on British soil, if I remember correctly?
I think you do. It's often said to be. Other people will come up with some really obscure skirmishes, but yes, it is effectively the last battle on British soil.
The last hussar, yeah.
I would say. And so that's why it was a famous battle. If you ever get the chance to go up to Inverness, it's a long drive from England, but if you do, it's a wonderfully what's the word? It's a wonderfully preserved battlefield, and it's got an aura about it. It's really, really wonderful to go and watch. Go and see it.
Have you been to many battlefields up and down the country?
Yeah, they're friends of General Haig, because we don't get out much. When we do, we go on battlefield tours. So we all separately fly into various places and meet up. Our best time, I think, was doing the Battle of Little Bighorn up in Montana. That was fantastic. We went there and to see where General Custer had his comeuppance, and that was really good. Because we arrived in late March, and I hadn't realised, because I'm stupid, that there'd still be loads of snow on the ground. So we arrived and we couldn't get down to one of the battlefields. There's too much snow. But the park rangers who were there, we were the only people mad enough to go on the day. So we got the whole run of the place to their visitor centre, and they gave us extra lectures on what they believed happened during the battle, which is different to the narrative that they have to tell everybody. So that was interesting.
Oh, excellent. When did you go? How long ago was that?
15 years ago.
15 years, wow, excellent. Yeah. I'd say being Welsh, you should be used to the snow. You should be quite hardy.
Well, the thing about Little Bighorn is when you're a British kid, you're used to having watched westerns all your life with John Wayne in and things, and they always film them in these dry gulches and canyons with those buttes and canyons and cactuses everywhere, and that's what you think America is, which laughably, because if you're American you know it's not, but we think it is. And then when you actually go to Little Bighorn, it's like Derbyshire, just low rolling hills. You can't imagine any carnage and mayhem going on there. It's like Dingley Dell in Derbyshire. That's what it is, beautiful rolling hills, low rolling hills. And so that was news to me.
The first one is from Tim Goodchild. When will we see US Marine or Airborne recoilless rifle teams in bolt action?
Do you know, I don't know the answer to that one.
Good question.
It is a good question, and you might have to write into the customer service team on that, because I don't know, if I'm honest.
Oh, that was stumped. We
Stumped.
like questions
1-0.
like this. Okay, so next one is Butte Mountain. They are new to Bolt Action and Conflict 47, and they're having a blast of building, painting and playing. Are there any plans to release more Pacific Theatre terrain?
Definitely. I can't answer that one, because we signed off on an invoice on getting lots more jungle terrain in. We're bringing it in from a third party. Lots of palm trees, first of all, which are nice, and then wonderful ferns and crazy fronds and stuff you can make hard and soft cover with. So yeah, and a few bunkers and shell holes.
That's even brilliant. That's brilliant.
So no, we're definitely doing that. And what I would call a Burmese house, sort of long house on stilts. So stuff for fighting in Burma or anywhere really in where the British and the Chindits in particular and the Japanese clashed.
Oh, that's very good. I think.
So yeah, a Burmese village looks great.
Absolutely. I think jungle scenery is always fantastic, especially when, like for myself, when taking photos of them for the books and marketing. I think there's some really nice photos. It feels like when you have the miniatures in the scene and then you have all the trees kind of drooping around them, it feels like a very tight, intense shot. And then it makes you think a bit more than just having a plain open field on the battlefield. So
it certainly does. Well, the guys at Skytrex have designed the Burmese village, and I had a word with them and made sure that there's always a sniper position in one of the. You could pop a nice model with a sniper rifle in there. Just it looks good.
Yeah, you just never know where they're hiding, especially, and you don't want to be in the middle of a bonsai charge as well when you have all these different trees around you as well. So foliage is always great, and it's good fun. It's good fun. The next one is the Hobby Desk with Rob. So again, another person that is enjoying Bolt Action and Conflict 47. And their question is, in the future, would we ever branch out into the world of 3D printing and release STL files that people could use and print themselves?
Well, that seems to be the way the world's going. We're not blind to it. So the answer is yes, we will look at it, and we have been looking at it. We do use 3D printing for our internal processes for our master mould making already. So we understand the process quite well now. So almost certainly, yes, we will do.
Excellent. Another good question. Okay, so the next one is from the Kenthor, or the Kentor. What can we expect for the future in terms of campaign books and the lore?
Well, Pete, who's heading up the project, the Conflict project, has promised 7 big books, which are of which the first one is nearly finished. So there's going to be 7 to bind them all together, which are going to talk about the lore. Campaign books will be coming. I don't know what sequence are going to come in, but it's 7 big books is what it's going to be.
7, that's not pretty. Do we have like a time scale for that?
The second one, the first one's Festung Europa, so Fortress Europe, and the second one is something America. It's an invasion of America. Let's just say that.
Oh, so
so that'll be good fun.
We're not in Europe anymore.
No, I think the Japanese might be involved.
All right. So the next one, getting away from Conflict 47. So Divan Van Ziel. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. Any news on the Boer War? Anything in the pipeline there?
Well, the Boer War book I wrote 4 years ago during the shutdown period, and it's gone to Dylan, who is our wonderful typesetter and editor and he wants to finish it off as a book because I didn't have time to play all the scenarios. So it's still into our ranges for the next year, I hope. So yes, it should come out. I hope it will.
That's good
and
news.
What we're hoping to do, I don't know whether we've completed it, was to make it a black powder book for the big battles, and then put in the rules for bolt action for the skirmish games, because it's on that cusp of the period 1900, exactly when black powder finishes and bolt action comes in. So we might put in both stat lines for everybody, so you can play big battles and smaller battles.
Is that why it's taking a little bit longer? Because it's just a bit more to think about.
A bit more to think about, yeah.
A good question on this one. So we'll hopefully see that in the near future. The next one we have is from Leslie Stevenson. And they've got a really interesting idea, and I've saved this till to the end here because I thought this was quite an interesting one. Can we sculpt textures directly onto sprue frames, such as wood grain, metal girders with bolts, that sort of thing, depending on the era, as that would mean that we will throw away less plastic and we'll have room to do conversions and that sort of thing for basing and dioramas?
Well, that is a wonderful question, and it is something I've tried to get done for many years, and for various reasons, but only largely spurious ones, it hasn't been done, because I'd love to be able to consume all this, to be able to make all your sprues into logs and everything else. And I agree, because throwing sprues away isn't much fun. If only there were a way that we could get the models from the sprues from the manufacturer, that would be even better if we could have single piece miniatures, not construed by sprues. But we're working on that as well.
Yeah, that'd be quite interesting, I imagine.
But yeah, no, sprues that you could do things of, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, like you could have picket fences and that sort of
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and I think you could do quite a lot with it.
It just needs thinking through, and well, in fact, it needs instruction. We'll just have to instruct them to do it. It can be done.
Oh, good. I was saying, because I suppose as it works, then as you're pressing onto the plastic, then surely you should be able to create the texture, or is there a few more restrictions in terms of it being on the actual sprue?
There's bound to be loads of technical reasons why it's difficult, but it's going to be tricksy to do, but it could be done.
Interesting. Well, I think that was a very good question by Leslie. So yeah, I definitely had to ask that one. So that was the end of the questions, but I've got a couple special mentions, and I think it was quite nice reading the comments from the last video, and these two kind of stood out for me. So I thought I would just pass them on, just because they were really nice to read. So this is Ricky Drinks Paint. Any flavour that you like? Red paint, black paint. They have recently discovered our range, and they came on our studio tour here in April.
All right.
And they were blown away by the kindness and generosity of the staff. And they're
them.
looking forward to building their first bolt-action army, which will be the Soviets. So hopefully your army's going really well, Ricky. My question would be, any words of wisdom for creating a Soviet army?
Oh, well, they're just some of the nicest models we've made. The latest ones we've had done by Wojtek, our Polish sculptor. He's not mad keen on the Russians, being a Pole. So he's made them look very sinister indeed. So they look a savage bunch, our Russians. And following up from the infantry, he's also done the Soviet naval infantry. The guys wearing the stripy T-shirts and the berets, and they look a rum lot as well, I have to say. So lots to come out for the Russians.
Oh, fantastic. And we will in the new year as well have a interview with Wojtek as well, so that will be one to look forward to as well.
Good.
And then the last one, a special mention, is from Richard, and they say their retirement would not be complete without our epic battles range to occupy their time.
Excellent.
They absolutely love everything epic, and they want to thank us for everything that we do.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, so hopefully retirement's going very well for you, Richard. And I say we're always looking to see what people are painting. So if you do get in touch with us, we would love to see how your armies are coming along.
Yeah, he doesn't say which one he's doing.
Yes, it could be everything.
Oh, well, that'd be great if it is. Well done.
And then perhaps maybe he'll be a bit more interested in next year's epic, if we're allowed to say anything more.
Not yet.
I'm trying.
Not yet. Loads more to come out in epic though.
Okay, so that is the end of the Q&A. If you have any questions for the next Q&A, please pop them down into the comments below. The next one should be a Christmas special, which we will be doing in a week or two, I reckon.
Okay.
Have you got a Santa hat that we can put on?
We can.
Yeah, we've got a Santa hat. So we'll look forward to that one. Until then, happy December, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, folks.